In or out, Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay, I think I'm out, and it's only because I think Juszczyk is going to get offered a lot of money from one of the Shanahan disciples in the NFL. There's 14 teams running the Shanahan offense next year, and I think a lot of them study Kyle a lot. They look at Kyle and they want to do it. Yeah, and if you're the Jets, you have a ton of cap room. Why not bring Juszczyk in the same fashion that the 49ers brought Juszczyk in 2017 and instill your offense and the culture and all that, right? Yeah.
He not only he can lead by example, but he can explain it. He's so smart. He's he's smarter than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
He is very in tune with what you're trying to do. Also, I think what Saleh looks at that Jets job is kind of similar as the Niners job 4 years down the line. It's a blank slate.
Right. He can do everything.
Whatever he wants. So bringing a guy like Juszczyk for the offense, bringing a guy like Sherman maybe for the defense, just for their mind as much as for their
abilities. Right. And Juszczyk, the thing for the 49ers is he plays I think what percentage of the snaps does he play?
35%, something
it's a
like
low
that.
percentage. Yeah. And
he plays on first down.
Right.
He plays on first down. Yeah.
Right. And he's a great run blocker. He's a really great player. He's really smart and everything. But I think that you can take the individual things that he does and replace them with guys who are currently on the roster, who are for a much cheaper price. And ultimately, that's why, as good as he is and as valuable as he may be, Kyle can make this offense work without Kyle Juszczyk. In Atlanta, who was their fullback? In Washington, who was their fullback?
I remember who it was. Hold on. No. In Atlanta, it was DeMarco. Something DeMarco.
Yeah.
Because that's my last name. That's my Italian last name. DeMarco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my mom's mom was originally DeMarco. Anyway, so yeah, I'm with you. Also,
and then Chris Cooley, right?
Oh yeah,
Chris Cooley was used in Washington, but then they had Vonta Leach who was a Pro Bowler in Houston. But ultimately, all of those things, I think he can make it work with Hokett, and Jalen Hurd can fill in the receiving portion of it. Ross Dwelly can fill in here and there, and then you get George Kittle back. And you re-sign Trent Williams. The run game is going to work regardless.
Yeah, also, I think the thing with Juszczyk is he's a fullback. I don't think you want just a fullback anymore. And the way the Niners, I've talked about this before, but they use him just as much at tight end this year as they use him at fullback. He was constantly either in line or at H-back in motion and stuff. And it seems like the evolution of the Niners running game is to use more two tight end looks than classic 21 personnel looks because of the way that defenses have evolved to shut down the outside stretch zone game. I mean, the Niners do a lot of running. I mean, if basically what they're doing is if you're going to set the edge, then we're going to kick that guy out with two tight ends and run inside. And that's what they do. So it seems like that's the next evolution. That's why they got Charlie Werner. And they want a guy who can play a lot of tight end and play a little fullback, not a guy who can play a lot of fullback and play a little tight end.
Right, and I didn't even bring him up. He's the other name to watch that they drafted him for a reason. And yeah, Kyle Juszczyk is fantastic. If all these players you could get at the exact price that would make sense for the Niners, re-sign all of them. They're all really good football players. But unfortunately, in a cap league, you got to pick who you want to pay, and other teams are going to choose to pay some of these guys. And I think Kyle Juszczyk is going to be offered a ton of money in the open market by a Mike LaFleur or Arthur Smith or Matt LaFleur, one of these guys, and he's probably should take it.
He's the perfect signing for a team that has cap space and is starting over because you can splurge on a fullback. You can be the team that spends the most in the league on a fullback because the wide receiver is not going to want to come to your team right away. I mean, you can get that guy, and then he can build your culture. He can help install the offense. The same reason the Niners got him in 2017.
So you can build. There's three things that's important with him, right? One, he's a great guy, leader, type of guy you want in your locker room. Two, smart, consummate professional, going to teach veteran, going to teach young players how to act and how to respond to wins, losses, and going to give you more credibility as a coach. And three, if you're a GM signing him, guess what? He's making the Pro Bowl because he's the only fullback who people actually know his name because the 49ers gave him a ton of notoriety. So you look good because you signed a Pro Bowler. So, yeah, of course.